So. Another video. Just talk about the things I find interesting. Or that are thoughts of mine at the moment, I guess. Or maybe even in the past. Realizations, I guess. And one still that keeps coming up is like how much we make feeling good conditional on certain future outcomes. And how backwards it seems. So, and the entire world will try to make you believe that you can only feel happy once you have something. Once you have that, you need this, and then everyone else is also like perpetuating that idea that you need a certain thing in order to be happy. So that's the whole idea behind advertisement out too. Right, here's the next thing. Have this and then you'll be happy. But it seems so, not sure if counterintuitive would be the right word, but it seems reversed, flipped. So to have an idea in mind and say, you know what? Once I can see myself in that position, then I can be happy. Doesn't really make sense, does it? To say like, you know what? First, before any happiness can come, it must be like that. I must have that product. I must have whatever. Or I must be somewhere. Or I must have someone. Or if not, I'm gonna just feel lack. I'm gonna say happiness is not okay, or I'm not okay. I'm not okay because I don't have something. So, because we do that. Yeah, and more and more I come to realization that it's not needed. It's not needed. And it seems also like so much effort and work to become happy then, right? Like imagine like the bigger the goal in that sense, the bigger you think like the bigger the thing needs to be in order to achieve that before you can be happy, the more difficult it's gonna be to ever, or it's gonna require so much effort then to be okay, to be happy. If the mind says I need, take one of those huge things, like let's say $1 billion. Unless I have that $1 billion, I can't be happy. What are you gonna do? Like even whether you achieve it or not. Let's say you achieve it, or let it be a new car or whatever. Like it's just or something very expensive. Just something that is like not your norm that you have to go towards first. What are you gonna do? Like either be unhappy, you know? Are you gonna be unhappy until you achieve that? Which could be, maybe it takes a month, maybe it takes years. Or maybe it's never fulfilled. So are we not gonna say, yeah, I'm not gonna feel fulfilled or happy because I couldn't achieve it in my lifetime, or wasn't possible. So that's one of those things, right? And like even if it's smaller things, let's say like it's not about big things, smaller things too. So I can't be happy because I have that small thing not yet. Or it's probably like Amazon. Could say like Amazon oftentimes is probably one of those small things, and people say like they can't be happy yet because they're still having to wait for the shipment, That's probably a good example too. No, it seems so backwards. To make feeling good conditional upon some future event. So yeah, that's one of those things. What else crossed my mind? Yeah, interesting. And then to generate positive feelings, if we take ourselves out, or also like if we say like what kind of person would even have that, that's another thing. Let's say, would you even be a certain person having that, or would you be a different person? We could say, would you be a happy person or a negative person? Although like some negativity is needed in order to bring us to the positive. But if it's a general just negative focused thinking, is that the kind of person that would actually have those things? I don't think that person could hold anything. Yeah, let's go into that. So downward spirals. A downward spiral. How is a downward spiral coming? So I, from my experience, believe that it happens if we have catastrophe thinking. So instead of focusing on a positive outcome, and it's interesting because if we say life, the universe, or whatever we want to call it, might even want to call it God, or can call it God, I think reflects back what we focus on. And catastrophe thinking is, so if we imagine the next worst thing, then the next worst thing is the next worst thing that actually happens. It's just as with the good things, right? So I know for myself, or I experienced for myself, often enough the evidence where I could see like, you know what? If I focus on that negative thing, the negative thing comes. If it's a positive thing, the positive thing comes too. It might not happen right away, but if like a general attitude exists, that just seems to realize then. That's just what we then experience. So, and then with a downward spiral, it's very easy to get into that too, you know? Maybe you start thinking of like losing something. What happens if I lose something? Then maybe this happens, and then that could happen right after that. Or you focus so, or it's very easy to focus then on the next worst outcome, never really like thinking of what actually good thing could come. What is an actual positive outcome that could come, right? So, but yeah, I think that's how downward spirals then arrive. And then oftentimes also with an underlying feeling, right? So how we feel really seems to matter a lot. You know, like I think it's perpetrated in society that it shouldn't matter. Like you just gotta grind, which I don't believe really works. I never seen working. I think you can take actions that are effortless, that don't feel like grinding, and that actually lead to something. But the whole idea to grind away at something, I do not see working. So yeah, feeling matters. What we feel matters, because it seems really to be a very clear sign to what we subconsciously think about. If we somehow like are negatively focused or like dwell in negativity, our feeling tells us that already, or even if we do the wrong things. So yeah, maybe we do even the wrong things, right? Or maybe not, maybe it's just our attitude towards them. But I think if we keep doing things that we have a negative feeling towards, that doesn't help either. So either the attitude must change, or there must be a focus on what the positive would be, or the opposite of whatever, like I guess that would make one feel positive. So like on a potential positive outcome, even though that still could imply that something is not okay right now and could bring in some resistance to what life presently is. That we might like have this need for control, trying to control life, trying to control the situation, but it's basically resisting life. And I don't think that is really good either. It's almost like just perpetuating a situation instead of like acknowledging that there might be a lesson behind it, and not just a practical one, but one like something to do with our internal state maybe. So yeah, that's kind of what I see presently. And yeah, I think that's about it, and I see you in the next video.